off with a list of names as usual, Leo. Who's available? I know you hate when we ask about who's not available. So on a positive note, you've three lads back for this week. Can I ask you though, in terms of the Ireland contingent, in terms of Joe Mack, Jamie, Jimmy O'Brien, Kieran Frawley, Jack Boyle, will any or all of those be available to you this week?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'll start with who trained today. So Jack Ball trained today, Gus McCarthy trained today, Joe McCarthy trained today, Jamie Osborne trained today, Kieran Frawley trained today, and Jimmy O'Brien trained today. So obviously the six of those guys that had been in camp, Hugh Cooney had been in Portugal, but he'd been released back to us. He trained last week as well. So it's a little bit of wait and see because obviously the game was only yesterday. So then Ireland will have a get together later this week. So they will keep a certain amount of players, and whoever they don't need will hopefully feature with us. So as the week goes on, that will become clear. But as of today, they're the guys that obviously train with us today.
It's obviously great to have them in the mix, Leo. But when you have that bit of uncertainty, how difficult is it to kind of prep for a week ahead?
That's okay. Like the comms have been good, and the lads know the sort of the permutation. So some of those guys, listen, they know that the likelihood is they will be playing with us, and they're preparing accordingly. So yeah, no, the lads have been good this week. I have to say, yeah. Like we had a good group, So if we think we played Stormers when the Irish crew were away in Portugal, and listen, the Stormers, there was so much good stuff about that performance, which we were nervous going into the game. Because you try to manage a lot of changes and see some guys that maybe hadn't played for a few weeks for whatever different reasons, but to see them go well was great. So to see them go well was great. That's better. So yeah, listen, the Stormers week was really positive. We had a week off here. And then we did a good training week last week, and there's a lot of younger guys in particular went back and played AL the weekend again, which is important to see a lot of guys play, and had some good results here as well in the group, which we always follow with great interest. So anyway, this week, short week, tough challenge. I don't know if you saw Ospreys against Benetton, which is their last game, which is the same week we played against Stormers. Where teams are missing players through international call-ups and all the rest. So Ospreys obviously dismantled Benetton, and Benetton had a pretty strong team on paper, certainly from what I could gather. So yeah, the Ospreys are missing a few players, but they've a hell of a lot of experience in their group now. So yeah, no, we're excited to get back going playing because playing opportunities, the way the structure of the league is, we've less games than we would have had before. So players know when the opportunity does come along, like they need to really grab it. So yeah, no, we're looking forward to this game on Friday. It'll be tough now, but I think it should be a good challenge.
Just on availability or not, is Rabba back in Dublin, or what's the story with him over the Six Nations now?
Yeah, so yeah, Rabba has been, that's what we call it, that travelling reserve for France for the first 2 weeks. But yes, he's been back for us. Yeah, he's been okay. He's back today.
Just on Jordan, any update on Jordan?
Jordan Larmour?
Yeah.
He is progressing okay, yeah, but he'll be out for another few weeks. He won't play in these 2 games. He'll possibly back for the South Africa trip is the plan for him, I believe.
Cool. Just one on the last couple of weeks, Leo. There was a lot of debate and chatter about the perceived difference in defensive styles between Leinster and Ireland this year, and how the Leinster lads in Ireland would deal with that going into Six Nations. Now, the evidence is they've dealt with it okay, but do you see much difference in the style of defence that Ireland use compared to you guys?
No, like as in, I think Ireland have been pretty aggressive in terms of their line speed. There's lots of different components a team needs to get before you can be aggressive. But listen, overall, I think the guys have a pretty good understanding, and they're getting the balance right between the work that they do around the contact area, and if you get good, obviously it sounds very obvious, the opposition has slower ball, the better defensive line you have set, and the more aggressive you can be with your line speed. So, I've watched the game just from the weekend on TV view. I haven't watched it from a wide view. The England game I went to watch. I went to the stadium to watch that. So, and I watched it back since. But yeah, listen, there's two games where there's lots of good stuff has gone on there in the first couple of rounds, so which is nice to see. And guys have continued on some pretty decent form from Champions Cup and even the Derby games over Christmas, so into whatever Six Nations. So it's great to see guys going well.
Last one from me. Yesterday was Sam's first away game for Ireland. Like he's still racking up all these firsts, and he's not 22 until later this week. England was his first Six Nations game. Is there anything else to say about him? I mean, just the calm and the poise that he has. Do you see growth in him even in the last couple of months?
Yeah, but that's what you want. You want growth from all the players, really. But like for someone of his age, exactly, and he's going through a lot of first experiences. So I think back to this time last year because we had a couple of, obviously we had our couple of URC games, but we organised a couple of friendly games because it was a lot to do with the Premiership teams. Have to rejig their fixtures, because a couple of clubs going out of business. But so we played Saracens and Bath, which were fully stacked teams, or not fully, but pretty much they were pretty loaded teams that they had. And Sam started in those two games, So I remember because it was obviously you're talking about his 21st birthday coming up, or his 22nd birthday coming up. Obviously, we had him for his 21st birthday this time last year. So yeah, those games were very good experiences for him, and he's finished out the rest of the season and picking up different levels of experience all the time. Started off this season, we plays round one, then he's away and going on the Emerging Ireland tour. So yeah, listen, it's been a busy period for him, but he's adding lots of different layers to his game all the time, and that's what you want from all the players, not just necessarily the young players, but he's taking everything in stride at the moment, which is good.
Cheers, Leo. Best luck this week.
Thank you.
Hi, Leo. Michael here. Again, sorry, apologies. I missed the start with tuning and throwing. On just the injuries, what about Ty Furlong? Are you in touch much with the medical team, or what's your understanding of the timeline, and if the issue is re-agitated in Ireland camp?
No, he's okay now, Ty. Well, listen, he's getting closer. Yeah, he's in the building today, so he's training, rehabbing away. So yeah, he's not a million miles away. So I'm not sure what their plan will be, whether get him for Wales or leave it for another couple of weeks after that. But listen, he's hopefully will feature before the end of the Six Nations, definitely. Yeah.
Very good. Is it an injury that's concerning you? I suppose it's on and off for the last few years, and it's in the calf. It's just a tricky area to get a finger on it. Are you concerned long term?
No.
Good stuff. Some of the guys that went away with Ireland but didn't play, Jack Boyle, Gus McCarthy, Kieran Frawley, Jimmy O'Brien, Jamie Osborne, are they in with you and going to play this weekend?
They're all in the building anyway. So here's hoping they get through the week. But obviously there's a few different factors there because again, obviously Ireland want to have a plan as well so they can get some meaningful training done later in the week. So again, hopefully most of those guys will feature with us, and that is the plan at this stage. But again, we just need to be ready to adjust if something changes, which is always the way this time of year. So we all understand our roles. But anyway, listen, we've a good group. We had a good group that trained here last week. The challenge always is you're trying to get a group ready last week, but then a couple of guys then get catapulted in on top. So anyway, we need to try and do our best to accommodate and do what's right by the group. So we'll try and do that this week.
Absolutely. You'd know all about management changes and things going on behind the scenes. Seems fairly seamless between Andy Farrell to Simon Easterby. Is that an impressive feat considering where Ireland were in the autumn? Not at their best by their own admittance, and how they performed in the first two games of the Six Nations.
Yeah, it was one of the things. Is the lead into, I suppose, November when you think back to it. Because again, we know we would have chopped and changed the team quite a bit, and there's different restrictions on players when they come back post a tour, and you're trying to manage a certain amount of game time leading into those November. So it was maybe a little bit bitty, and you think Ireland have an unbelievably tough start. They're up against the All Blacks, who are off the Rugby Championship. So they have, it's a much better flow for them, isn't it? Whereas Ireland they're trying to get going again, and trying to merge lots of things together. So. The level of competition that I think a lot of players have come off in terms of the Champions Cup, and the standard Champions Cup is, and even the Derby games in between the Champions Cup games. So, there's some proper tough games, tough battles have gone on there. So I think the players from all the provinces are in good form going into the Six Nations, and that's what you want to see. And I think overall, I think the cohesion and the level of fitness and performance from the group has been good.
Ospreys at the weekend, you're in form obviously with your winning run, but also Ospreys in very good form after a poor start. What's the dangers this weekend for Leinster?
Well, it's never an easy place to go, is it? Like to go away, and in their last game at home, like, they put 40 points on Benetton, and like they were very impressive in how they went about dismantling them, and the conditions, obviously deteriorated as the game went on that day. But they've got that nice mix, haven't they? Like they've got some good young players and some very experienced heads there, been around a while. And they're not that affected by Welsh call-ups. They've 6 or 7 guys maybe in the squad. So it's going to be a tough challenge for us. Obviously they've changed. Mark Jones come in as head coach, so the natural sort of uplift there, and he's a coach with lots of experience, and they've definitely expressing themselves a little bit more, I think it's probably fair to say. So it's going to be a good challenge for our guys.
Very good. Just the last one, Jordy Barrett and RG Sneeman, are they available this weekend, and are they big parts during the international window when they're not playing? Are they big extra parts of what Leinster's about at the moment?
Yes, with the group. What playing role they have, let's wait and see, because again it's just trying to get the balance right. With particularly with Jordy again when he came in, and we're trying to make sure that we're looking after him as well, because both of those guys as an example weren't here last week because we just they've gone straight through basically. If you think rugby champion, I know obviously RG picked up an injury, even Jordy picked up an injury, but as in we tried to look after them at this time of year as well, so try to get the right balance there. Bit cryptic, that message. Bit of a cryptic answer.
Yeah, but yes, we'll see. All the best. Good luck.
Okay, anyone else with a question for Leo? Okay, perfect. We'll bring Scott Penny in now in a minute. Thanks, folks.